the whole couple 3 days, we spent a lot of time on a number of different topics. I think, look, it's much different when you're on the committee because you're able to rely on maybe past experiences well before this season, and I felt like we kind of had to go around the block twice, and then we arrived at the right address. And I think we were 8-0 was a competition committee, and 31-1 in favor of what became 6C. So, man, there was a lot of hours and a lot of time spent by guys on the committee, by the coaches, and it's great when you can arrive at we think it's a good change.
Obviously, we saw Mike Tomlin happy. I mean, how coaches are
when you can look. We're trying to address the 2 fouls that most impact games. So forget the end of our game. Just look at Pittsburgh, New Orleans a few weeks earlier.
Right.
And the last 3 years, coaches are being a little bit more judicious with their challenges. I think that'll continue, especially in light of the fact that you now have a more meaningful play you can challenge. And so south of 2 minutes, it's in replay's hands, but north of 2 minutes, it's in your hands. And so I think it won't impact the way we watch a game. And I just think there's 2 more calls that we're going to work to get right. And I think that the room felt real good about that. What?
Who was the one?
Not important.
Why do you think it passed?
What changed?
Why do you think it did pass? I mean, because at one time people thought it might not.
Look, we had a lot of different. I think one of the challenges was the amount of proposals we were discussing. And so if we're discussing 5 different items in the menu, it's hard to get focused. And this one, pretty much after the AM meeting, we went back in as a committee and really started hashing through what we didn't like with one of them, what we did like with the other. Coaches met for a long time yesterday. I thought we had great discussion. And really, essentially, after that meeting at lunchtime, we felt this was going to be one. We didn't want games ending with coaches throwing challenges on Hail Marys and all of that. We respectful of how we watch a game today, we have the ability, within the system, our fans know, within the system, we know, 2 challenges, if you get them right, you have a third. And if you're north of 2 minutes and you feel like there's been a foul, you can challenge that. South of 2 minutes, the replay official takes on that responsibility if he feels like it. And I think that it fit with a system we know and a system the fans know. And look, we wanted to walk initially. Obviously, there's certain calls it doesn't address, but at least we can begin to, look at this as we move forward. And I think everyone was excited that we arrived at a good answer.
How rewarding is this for you personally?
I think it's more about the football element. I honestly, when you're on this committee, you really try to look more towards the history of the game. I just pulled up copies of what was the 6B, 6A, all these other ones we're not using, to look at someday and be like, these are the ones that didn't pass. But no, I think it's more from there's that, owe it to the game that we have responsibility, I think. And really, I mean that. I think it's important that this isn't going to be perfect always. And we know that the mere shape of the ball tells you it's not going to bounce the same way. So, but these are fouls that the analysts are able to point to and say, hey, they're the most impactful fouls. So, I think we got it right.
Your message to fans that said this couldn't get done?
I don't know that people felt it couldn't get done. I think it was really more organizing and the focal point shifting to a common direction, and it took a couple days, which is why you go through the process.
Sean, what's the difference between 6C and 6B?
Well, 6B took you where a coach could challenge underneath 2 minutes, which was uniquely different. We didn't want games ending our last play into the end zone, incomplete. Throw a flag out there, and then all of a sudden that becomes the way games end. So, look, as we know, replay, it's always underneath 2 minutes. The replay has it. North of 2 minutes, we have it. Nothing's changed that way. We've essentially expanded replay to include 2 more plays. Now, the unique thing that's different with OPI and DPI, different than the other fouls, if no foul's been called on the field, we can challenge to put a flag on.
So what got people philosophically past that, reluctance?
I think we had to go around the Grand Canyon and like the frickin' we had to like do a few laps around the Southwest here. We really discussed all of those things, and I think that I think it was a combination really of the coaches, the membership on the competition committee, and our ownership. Obviously, ultimately, our ownership was outstanding in the meeting today. There was a lot of man hours that went into this, and I think the group felt real good.